Good morning and welcome to our last daily devotion, almost daily devotional on the book of Ruth. We've spent a month with Ruth, which seems like a lot for a four-chapter book. it's, it's only four chapters, they're not long chapters. And so breaking it down a month, over the course of a month seems like a lot at first blush. But that's one of the beauties about the book of Ruth is that this narrative, this story is more complicated than it appears on the surface. It's more complicated than a simple story of a woman meeting her husband and making a family. There's so many things at play here. Now, one of the interesting things about the book of Ruth is that if you are Jewish, you find this story in a different place in your Bible. Um, in the Christian Bible, we find it just after Judges. It's considered a history book. It's part of our historical section. So Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Ezra, and Nehemiah have the whole story of the people leading from Moses up to Chronicles, Samuel, Kings, where we get the story of the kings. In the Hebrew Bible, Ruth is in the writing section. It's in the wisdom section. It's considered a book that is best used for gaining wisdom about life, about how to live your life, which is it's a different way of listening to Ruth. When we're listening to it not as a history to learn history of Israel and its peoples, when we're listening to it for wisdom, that gives us a different perspective. According to the rabbinic tradition, the main theme of Ruth, the main purpose of Ruth, is the idea of loyalty, of faithfulness. And it's not blind loyalty, it's not blind devotion, but the idea that loyalty is born out of our caring and our compassion and our commitment to one another. We're asked to be loyal to lots of things, sports teams, to our schools, to our jobs, to the places that we shop. But it's very few things that we are loyal to because we choose to be loyal, because they have earned our loyalty through love and care and compassion. All of the characters in the story, all the people in the story, Naomi and Ruth and Boaz, have earned the loyalty of the other because of their caring and compassion. It teaches us that if we want people to be in a committed relationship with us, if we want to develop relationship, if we want to develop community with one another, then that's not done by force, it's not done by guilt, it's not done by responsibility. It is done through acts of caring, acts of love, acts of compassion. That if we want people to be involved in our lives, that we have to also be interested and involved in their life. This reminds us that God earns our loyalty. That God has earned our loyalty over and over again because of God's compassion, God's care, God's continued involvement in our lives. Every time we experience an act of God's grace, that earns our devotion and our loyalty to God. And so if there's anything that we can learn from Ruth, it's the value and importance of genuine care, of genuine compassion, of genuinely reaching out to someone with arms saying, "How can I help?" Or just words of, "I'm here, I'm listening. Tell me what you want when you're ready." So if we want to inspire loyalty, we want to inspire compassion and community with one another, we do that through love. We do that through showing God's compassion and care to others. So go out and be compassionate. Go out and show care, maybe to someone who doesn't expect it. And when you do, remember Ruth. God bless.